So I hope this doesn't jump up and down the whole trip. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But anyway, in this video, I just listened to the video I had made last week or whenever about, it's a little unsolved mystery of mine, happened in person, and it was about spooky stuff. And it put me in the mood to talk about another one that really creeped me out. And I'm not a person who gets creeped out. I mean, I can't say I'm not a person who gets creeped out, but I can say that I'm not one who believes in all that stuff. You know, like, I just don't believe in it. I try to find some kind of logical explanation for it. And some things I can't. Some things in my life I haven't been able to find one. And this is one. Well, I've told the story before about my experience at, I think it's called the Rogers Motel, or is it Hotel? Anyway, in Waxahachie, Texas. And it happened, I don't know how, several years ago. And it was very, very creepy story. But the whole town in itself, I really liked it. It felt kind of homey, and everything was there. It's not all spread out, too far to go to here or there. Like where I live, it's usually too far to go here or there. And I liked the place, and so did my mother. Now, and this is where I want to go in this direction on this one, is my mother was a conspiracy theorist. And she believed in paranormal and, things like that, along that line. Yeah. Now, my mother, she was, like I said, a conspiracy theory, and she was an only child, and her mother, I think, was one too. And when my mother graduated from high school, she had already met my dad. They were in high school together. But she decided to go off to college, and it was a college then. It's a university now. But she was going to become a missionary, and it was a Bible college. That's what they called it, Bible college. I grew up hearing Bible college. So she went there, and she told us stories like, that she became friends with Jerry Lee Lewis. He would come there to their college and practice on their piano. And she said she met Elvis too, I think. So, but she would tell us stories and everything about it, and she really loved the place. And as she grew older, she developed dementia. She had it for a long time, and she would always reminisce about her time in Waxahachie, Texas. And her stories were always really good. Now, I'm going to tell something at the end of all this. Is when I told her, some of the things that happened to me. Like I said, she had dementia, and at this time it did. When I went there, she told me, don't ever go back there. And, I mean, she was not all that. She was in the late stage, and but she told me, don't go there. Do not go there. And, back to Waxahachie. But I'm not trying to bash Waxahachie. Like I said, I really like the place. But it's just that some really spooky, unsolved mystery kind of things happened there to me. Why so many happened to me, I don't know. And I might be rewriting history because it was several years ago, and I don't remember the details as I would have when I did tell it several years ago. So, also, I don't remember the chronological order of when this happened or that happened. Anything like some things happened. Like I remember driving around, and I think it was there. I went down a wrong road and wound up at a cemetery. Yeah, and it was just. I never have liked cemeteries. I mean, who does? Maybe some people. You never know. But they totally creep me out. They just do. And I think when I tell the story, you might see a little bit more into that than I would, but do I? Yeah. I went to get some gas in my SUV. Anyway, I forgot where I was in the story. There's always going to be something happen when I go places. This time, I just didn't do the machine right repeatedly. They've changed them. So that's my defense. They changed them. No, it wasn't. I wasn't taking enough time. Anyway, so this place, this Waxahachie, like I said, it's a nice place to me. mean, not, it's a town, it's comfortable, but weird things kept happening to me there. And like I was saying, like I just wound up at some, I had that happen to me 2 times. That's why I said I was there, two different places. Just wound up, boom, I'm at some cemetery, and just cemeteries creep me out. They just do. And but another one was that they actually have a 1313 Mockingbird Lane. Do you know what that's a reference to? 1313 Mockingbird Lane. Yeah, they have one there. I went and saw that, but it wasn't open. I think that they, show the house and stuff and everything, and but it wasn't open at the time. Just went to the fence, saw that, and but those weren't the creepy things. Okay, I don't know why that person's sitting there. You saw that they're just sitting there. They're still sitting there. That's weird. But anyway, you couldn't see it anyway, I don't think. But to get back to this, but I went there, and it's a lot of background to the story, besides my mother and all that. I went there. Knew somebody that lived there, and I wanted to see their downtown. I really like historic downtowns, and I go to different places and look at them. And this was the guy around my age, and he told me a lot about this place. Okay, and some of the stories were very, very, like something about their downtown, their courthouse, I think it was, and about why the drawings were whatever they're called, why they were the way they were, and it was kind of like a little creepy story. And then we went to see this Rogers Motel. Now, I had never heard of it. I never knew anything about it. Did not know that I'll tell you what happened to me. Or at least some little snippets, because like I said, it was years ago. I don't remember everything. But it's a big place, and I walked into it with him, and it was immediately I had just this odd feeling come over me, and it was something like it's been around for I don't know how many years, and many, many years, and just a creepy feeling. And I was there because it's not I don't know if people stay there or not, but I was there just to see it. It was like an historical landmark or whatever. I don't know. And I wasn't there to stay, in other words. And it just kept getting this creepy feeling from the moment that I entered the place. Just really creepy. And then there was, I was being shown around and all. Okay, I'm going to have to stop. This happens to me all the time. I can't pass it. But anyway, gives me more time to tell the story, right? But anyway, there was like, when you walk in, you're walking into, I guess, the ground floor, but then they have a basement, and not many places in Texas have a basement, and something to do with bedrock and something like that. And I can't see above the hill to know if anybody's coming, in case you're wondering. And they got bike routes. I don't know why they don't take them. Anyway, so walk into this and there's an area downstairs that people go to see. And I went, I was being shown around and everything, and I went down the stairs, and it was kind of like right when I got to the stairs, I had this overall really creepy feeling come over me. And I don't get those kinds of things, not very often. I mean, maybe once or twice in my life. I don't even remember. But thank you for going so slowly and on this road. Anyway, boy, I'm getting too distracted. I probably should just pull over and finish the story. But anyway, so it was the stairs down. It was very narrow staircase too. Very, this was an old building, and they didn't always have the biggest halls or stairwells, whatever. And so I, he was following me, and I went down, and then there was, well, actually what it was is I asked him if there was a restroom, because we had been walking around, walking around this place, and the second person's told me to go. We had been walking around this place, the downtown and everything, and I said, is there a restroom in there? I think that's why we went in there. And he said, yeah. And so then he told me where the restroom was, which was downstairs on the basement floor. And I can see memories coming back. My long-term memory seems to be messed up right now. Anyway, so when I got down there, he just said go downstairs, and you can see the door says that. And like I said, it was going downstairs. Then there was a door that said women's, and then ladies or whatever. And when you walk into that, it's a longish kind of hall, kind of like that sidewalk, about that wide, that goes to another door that's for the women. Okay, and I went in there, and it was only like I think 2 stalls. What do you call them? Bathroom stalls? Yeah. And you can see that where it's set up like where in the past people would actually have somebody there to hand you towels or whatever, that kind of place. And I think it had 3 maybe stalls. Anyway, and one of them, when the door was open, and the first one I don't know if it was, and the middle one, the door was open, and the seat in it just shocked me because it looked like some big monster had just taken a big, huge chunk out of it. Seriously. It was shaped like teeth. Okay? Had taken a chunk out of that seat. I was like, okay. So I went to the one on the end. And when I got in there, I started feeling weird. Really, very weird. And it was something like a movie playing in my head of people, like right outside there, in my movie or whatever, like there was a door or a hole, and people were escaping because it was they were being raided back in the 40s or 30s or something like that, before then, even the way they were dressed, and they were escaping, both males and females, through that hole or door. And it was really like a movie was playing in my head. I'm like, oh my goodness, what the crap. And so I hurried up to get out of there, and it was too freaky to me. I still stopped and washed my hands and got to that door. Nobody else was in there. And I opened the first door. Like I said, there's a door. Then I had to go down this longish hall, like the sidewalk kind of size, and then out to another door. Then upstairs, go back out. And he was waiting outside in the lobby or whatever, on that floor. And so I get to that front door and I open it, and it was like I could not move. I could not, like I open the door and I start to walk, and it's like I would have to pull like you're pulling yourself up by a rope or something. But there was no rope, of course. And I couldn't move fast. And it was like it was trying to drag me back in there. Never, ever have I had any experience like that before or after. Never, ever. And I was like, okay, this is freaking me out. And I just kept really trying to struggle to get down that hall. Like you hear my voice, struggling. And I finally got to the door, and it was like I could not get out. And I finally got out of that hall and into where he was. He was standing right out there. And I'm guessing there was no, I was pale as could be. And I remember him saying something. I said, this is what happened to me. And I told him. He just stood there with eyes wide open looking at me. He goes, no way. I said, yeah, it did. And he said, well, I kind of didn't tell you something about this place. And I said, what's that? And he said, this place is thought of as haunted. I'm just standing there, because I'm not a believer in that. And I'm just standing there looking at him, and he said, you didn't know that? I said, no, I didn't, but because I really don't believe in that stuff. Well, it kind of went on from there that, like, that place was not wanting to let me go. Okay, I'm serious. I don't believe in this stuff, but that was kind of like the feeling. And it's kind of like that feeling, you know, like in the hallway, like I said, that it just did not want me to go out of there. And I was having like a movie. Now, the way I explain it is that, because all my degrees are in, I studied so much on this stuff and history and all this kind of thing. And it was just that I could see what probably had gone on in this place back then. And that was what it was. It wasn't anything, you know, paranormal or any of that. It was just that, you know, my mind was thinking about what kind of people had been in this place before, how many years, and on and on. You know, what different things happened there during this time and that time. And but really, I couldn't get out of there fast enough. It was creeping me out, and I literally couldn't get out of there. Anyway, he told me that, like, I'm never going there again. Now, I've been back after that, and I like the place. Like I said, you know, where I live is suburb of Dallas. It's just huge, and, you know, I kind of like difference sometimes to go to places small, and, you know, like I said, I like downtowns, historic downtowns. And, well, before the pandemic, I did like to go to these places. Right now, I'm not going much of anywhere, except to get gas, like I just did, or something. But anyway, so I went to, after that, I was there by myself, and I was staying in a hotel, and I just liked to go in there, and I went to go find something to eat. And I remember I was driving, you know, I didn't know the place all that well, and I kind of remembered where I went to this other place before and all that. And, well, I said that would really creep me out if I got lost or something and wound up at the Rogers hotel, whichever one. And sure enough, I did. Just then, came around the corner, and there it was. It's like, this is creepy. Let me go. You know, don't try to pull me in. I want out of here. And I think that may have been the time when I ran across that cemetery. But yeah, I mean, these things happen. Coincidences do happen. Stuff like this happens. Plain and simple, it does happen. You know, I'm not a believer. But after that, when I got home, I you know, back to my house. You know, out of Waxahachie. I don't live in Waxahachie. But I checked it out, and the Star Telegram, that's Fort Worth Star Telegram, had a whole video, video documentary thing about the Rogers Motel. Like I said, I can't remember if it's motel or hotel. And, you know, what kind of creepy stuff other people had experienced there. And here's the thing. That guy, he had told me, he says, I really don't want to say anything. And when he said all that, he goes, my daughter actually experienced, and he has a young daughter. She wasn't even an adult. He says she experienced creepy things there too. And he said he was just shocked because I said the same thing. He thought she was just, you know, a kid and kind of creeped out or something. He said, no, and here you are, you're not knowing about it, and you experienced something like that. So, but I do wonder. I mean, to me, it's an unsolved mystery why that would happen to, like, that little girl, his daughter, other people. You know, I wonder why these things happen. And it could simply be, like I had said, that about me, it was that, you know, some of us have studied history and, you know, different societies and, you know, eras and stuff like that. And, you know, so things happen to us like that when we walk into a place. I know it does to me. And like I said, I like historic downtown, you know, areas. But sometimes, like that one, I don't think I'll ever go to the Rogers again. Never. So, in my life, never. And I'll kind of think more deeply before I go into something like that. You know? But what about you? Do you have a story like that you want to tell? And, yeah, I'm telling you, though, truthfully, I was feeling kind of nervous even thinking of making this video. Really. Like I said, I'm not a believer. And there's another story I want to tell that I'm not a believer, but, yeah. You know, like I said, my mother was a conspiracy theorist. She used to drag me out with her, you know, ask me to go out with her at nighttime out the back door of the house. My dad was in the front of the house. He probably didn't know what was going on. And go look for aliens with her, UFOs. I was a little bitty kid, And she had me watch Dark. Now I'm going to forget it, what it was called. With Barnabas Collins and stuff. Dark, what was it? Anyway, you know what I'm talking about, right? And, I mean, I grew up with, hearing my mother believe in these creepy things. So, but I'm not one. But like I said, coincidences happen. And that's how I usually sum them up, as coincidences happen. Kind of way. She did not. She believed in this stuff. And I do have another one that I wasn't the only person. Adam was there with me when this happened. And it's a story about UFO. Okay. Yeah. And like I just said, I don't believe in this stuff. But Adam was there, and there were a lot of other people there. So I'll tell the story if I haven't already. I wanted to tell the story earlier, but I don't know. Anyway, I'll wrap this up. Talk to you on another video.